Final Fantasy VII got an awesome new trailer jam-packed with info and secrets, and we're here to break them all down for you. There's a ton here, and be warned that we're going to be talking full spoilers for the original game, but let's dive right in. Things start out straightforward enough with an extended look at the flashback scene of Tifa and Cloud talking in Nibelheim, but it only gets crazier from here. We quickly get a shot of Jenova in a tank before Cloud gets a headache and we see a single frame of Sephiroth's Mako-affected eye. Sephiroth himself appears, and it's immediately clear that this scene is a major change from the original, as he never actually appeared outside of memories or flashbacks during the Midgar portion of the game. We think we have a pretty good idea as to where this scene takes place, but more on that once the trailer itself comes back to it later. For now, we get a shot of Shinra HQ, before we see a recreation of a scene from the original where Shinra head of urban development Director Tuesti is making an appeal to President Shinra not to destroy Sector 7, with head of public safety Heidegger calling him a coward. A new scene quickly shows what appears to be Shinra creating materia. Materia is explained in the original to be crystallized Mako, and a scientist can be heard saying Mako supersaturation confirmed before another replies engaging materia cooling to reduce temperature. It would make sense then that the head of weapons development Scarlet is watching this play out. While we do briefly see Scarlet in the original game's boardroom scene, she previously didn't have a role beyond that until much later in the game. Same with this guy, Palmer, the head of Shinra's space program. It could be that we'll only see these characters briefly, or that their roles have been expanded in the remake. In the original, he's known for requesting lots of lard in his tea. This time it's butter, which I guess is better? Now we get our first glimpse of the revamped Honeybee Inn, as well as Cloud's cross-dressing scene. This section has been significantly redone, with the Honeybee Inn now looking more like a nightclub instead of a brothel, and Cloud changing clothes here instead of the dress store. At least he's still got those adorable braids. As he leaves the Honeybee Inn, we can see how much the exterior has changed too, and get a glimpse of Aerith's iconic red dress. This look at the wall market has shown it clearly changed a lot too, but still leads up to Don Corneo's imposing mansion. We see Don Corneo's extremely gross bride-picking scene play out, as well as Tifa in her purple dress, who Cloud and Aerith have come to save from the Dawn in the first place. Next, we get a better look at a brand new character to remake, Roche. Originally shown off in the TGS trailer, Roche, also known as Speed Demon, is a former 3C soldier who rebelled, but it's unclear what his relationship to Cloud is and why he's looking for a fight. Given he mentions kicking the Hornet's Nest and Avalanche members Biggs and Wedge are here, we can assume this takes place in either the first or second Mako reactor towards the start of the game. Here we finally have a look at Remake's Red 13, mirroring their conversation just after freeing him from Shinra HQ. But now we finally jump back to Cloud's unexpected confrontation with Sephiroth. Cloud attacks, but is easily outmatched as Sephiroth says a touching reunion, indicating this is the first time they'll cross paths in the remake. And we have a theory as to why they're meeting at all. After Cloud falls, we see that Shinra's maniacal Professor Hojo has been watching them. This is entirely speculation, but we're willing to bet this encounter happens within Shinra HQ. In the original, Shinra HQ holds a much smaller tank containing Jenova, only to see later Sephiroth opened it and took Jenova before killing Shinra's president. Again, this is just a theory, but from your party being present and Hojo having security cameras in the room, it seems possible that the remake will instead have Cloud and friends cross paths with Sephiroth inside of Shinra HQ right before he frees Jenova. Cut to Tifa, Cloud, and Barret running away from a boss enemy called the Heli Gunner. This fight originally takes place on the elevator as you're leaving Shinra HQ, but now it looks like it'll happen on the way there instead. You can even see the massive expanse of debris behind them that is likely the destruction of Sector 7, with the rest of the plate still above. The party is then running up the rubble instead of climbing and swinging on those annoying ropes near Wall Market. Also, blink and you'll miss it, but Cloud isn't using the Buster Sword here, instead wielding what looks like the Mithril Saber. That's a weapon you could previously only get once you left Midgar. He also seemingly has some kind of gun, but we're guessing it may actually be a sort of grappling hook to help melee fighters reach flying enemies, as the same device can be seen on Tifa's back here. Barret and Tifa also seem to have new weapons here, but not ones that directly resemble anything from the original game. Speaking of things Cloud shouldn't have in Midgar, we immediately see the Leviathan summon being used, which you don't get in the original all the way until Wutai Village. A curved staircase indicates we're back in Shinra HQ, while the stairs after are definitely the long, arduous climb up its dozens and dozens of floors. You can even see in the bottom right that Tifa, Cloud, and Barret are on different floors as they climb. Only 33 more floors to go, Cloud. Hey wait, an escalator? That's cheating! Another recognizable scene here as we see the party in a Shinra HQ bathroom as Cloud climbs up into a vent to spy on the board meeting we mentioned earlier. This is straight out of the original. Cut to a different scene entirely, here Cloud is fighting enemies called Sweepers on his own. Sweepers are fought in the very first Mako reactor, so this shot seems to be much earlier. Except he's also using the Chocomog summon, which has a Moogle riding a Chocobo fighting alongside him with a timer on the right showing how much longer they'll be around. We also get a look at its signature Chocobo Stampede animation, but Chocomog isn't a material you usually get until leaving Midgar either. So once again, either it's been moved much earlier, the remake will leave Midgar in some way, or Square Enix is messing with what abilities characters have here to make the trailer look cool. After Cloud's combat, we see Tifa beating down some Shinra soldiers, and judging by the light and rubble, it's probably on the way to Shinra HQ again. Next, Barrett brings some pain to a couple of enemies called Vargid Police. These strange-looking baddies are fought in Shinra HQ after Jenova is released. And finally, we come to what's likely the biggest surprise so far, but we think we might have figured out what's going on here. Sephiroth seems to disappear into a cloud of smoke and light, which then fills up the room as Jenova appears for a boss fight. This is massive, because you normally wouldn't fight Jenova until much later, but we're pretty sure this confrontation actually takes place in the Shinra President's office sometime after the previous Sephiroth scene. As we zoom out from Sephiroth to Aerith and Red 13, you can see the same red, gold, and black carpet on the floor as behind Tuesti in the scene earlier. You can also see what appears to be the President's wide desk where Sephiroth was standing, so we're willing to bet this is a brand new boss fight that occurs just after he kills Shinra. That said, the Jenova fight then takes place in a very different looking room, so either Jenova has transformed it significantly, or the trailer is cleverly cutting two scenes together to throw us off. Following that bombshell is, well, a literal bomb, as we see a Mako reactor explode, followed by Barrett firing his big shot limit break at a boss called 100 Gunner, which is also usually fought on the Shinra HQ elevator. We can't quite tell where it's placed now. This scene of Tifa calling out to Cloud as he falls is likely just after you destroy the Sector 5 Mako reactor, just before he lands in Aerith's church. Moving on quickly, we get our first look at Midgar's final car chase, with the party's little blue car and Cloud's motorcycle looking very familiar. As Barrett and Cloud run through an unfamiliar pipe, they are chased by an enemy called a Sword Dance, also fought in Shinra HQ before Aerith hits it with a fire spell. Jumping back to another recognizable moment, Cloud, Barrett, and Tifa escape the destruction of Sector 7 by swinging out of danger on a cable as President Shinra looks down on the chaos. The trailer then closes by raising even more questions. The party stops on the highway after their Shinra escape, only to see black smoke-like figures flying upward toward the HQ. These smoke creatures appearing here is obviously entirely new to the remake, but a similar moment was shown in the TGS trailer. Right now, it's hard to guess what they are, but from their hooded appearance, maybe they're failed clones of Sephiroth that have taken on a very different nature compared to the original game? We'll have to wait to find out, but that's everything we dug up right now. What do you think of our theories, and have any of your own? Let us know in the comments below. And for everything else Final Fantasy, you're already in the right place at IGN.